Today is, oh, today is Saturday, March 16th, 2019. I have recently completed my first 21-day distilled water fast. I have been eating. Yay! Yeah. I have been eating again. And it's been fun. It's been fun and interesting and new and surprising and I don't know. I just don't know. I am glad to be here still, and the reason is because on day 2 of refeeding, I experienced a fainting spell, and I did not think that I would even feel the way that I do right now, 2.5 seconds into sharing this with you. But, that's what's happening. And I just want to catch you up to what's been going on with me. So, I began eating again just after midnight on day 1 of refeeding, which would have been on Thursday, February 21st, of course, of 2019. And I actually went in to get that watermelon that I've been talking about for 1,000 years. And I pulled it out of the refrigerator. And because all of my senses were so heightened, so the sense of smell, certainly, I could smell many things, almost like a superpower, basically, if that was an interesting superpower to have. But I took the watermelon out and smelled it, and I thought that it smelled like it expired already. And so I took it to my mom, who was still with me at the time, thankfully, and she said that it was just taking on the garlic and onions that I had in the refrigerator on a previous occasion. So yeah, eventually she got me some baking soda because I needed that. But I was so sensitive to that the watermelon, I could not or did not want to risk making that the first situation. So I instead chose to eat an apple, a red delicious apple. And I enjoyed that apple a great deal, and I'm glad that we had it as backup, because without the watermelon, if I didn't have the apple, I wouldn't have anything, because it's pretty much, we had the oranges, the apples, kiwi, watermelon, and that was pretty much it in the refrigerator. So I ate 1 apple, I took out 2, was able to finish 1. I anticipated having some sort of an upset stomach or something, but everything was fine, and I was grateful for that, and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. Believe it or not, I actually, on that Thursday, day 1 of refeeding, I actually went and got my hair done. So my mother drove me to where I get my hair done. And I actually had to lean on her to walk in, and I felt weak the whole time that I was there. Moved extremely slowly, slower than ever, and got my hair done. And this is the hairstyle. I do enjoy it. Thank you so much. But yeah, I leaned on her the whole time I was walking, for the most part, And then we came home. So I began a new position. It was to begin on that day 2 of refeeding, which would have been Friday, February 22nd, 2019. And I woke up on day 2 and for some reason, I got out of bed and was moving in a way that was not indicative of someone who had gone without consuming nutrients for 21 days. So I realize now that I was walking entirely too quickly throughout the house. I was moving in different directions too much. So I was getting dressed, and my mom was helping me out by cutting up the fruits and stuff that I was going to take to eat for lunch on day 1 of this position, beginning training. And I had gotten out of the shower, and I had my bath towel wrapped around me, and that I remember for sure. My mom told me that after the fact that um, that she heard noise in my bathroom, and when she heard the noise, apparently I said, something along the lines of "I'm okay" or "Mom, I'm okay." So she's coming on her way from the kitchen to see that if I'm okay, and she hears another noise, and she said that when she came in, that I was lying down on the floor next to my closet, which is right here. You can't see it, but it's right here. And I was lying down, I guess, in some sort of like an L position. I guess she was trying to describe it to me. It's like when you're spooning with somebody, a little more pleasant of a situation than spooning. But just imagine just being as an adult sized person being shaped in the lying in the shape of the letter L. And there was a puddle of blood on the bathroom floor, and I don't remember which fall was which, but my mom said that I must have fallen twice. So whether I remember number 1 or number 2, I don't know. But I just know that I remember I assume now falling down, and I remember the sound of my forehead hitting the bathroom tile floor. And the reason I know that is because I heard a cracking sound, and that was either my forehead or my cheek hitting the bathroom floor. The blood was coming from a cut in my lip, and perhaps my tooth or something bit down on my upper lip when I landed on the bathroom floor. But my mom said that she came in and she tried to wake me up, but she said that I wasn't responding. So she ran to get her phone so that she could call 911. When she came back, eventually she was able to wake me up. She said that when I opened my eyes, that I still wasn't really present or understood what was happening. And by the time EMTs arrived, I do remember that I was fully aware. But it seemed like even when I was fully aware, I didn't understand the full magnitude of what had just occurred, because I remember speaking in my usual bubbly tone. I didn't sound even as sad as I do right now. I sounded more energized than I do right now, which is strange to me in hindsight. But my mom was here with me, and I'm very grateful that she was here, because I don't know what would have happened if she wasn't. And so I'm grateful that she was here. There are things that there are feelings that this fast has brought to my awareness that I had no idea existed. And there are times at night during the fast where I would just feel myself very overwhelmed, and I would cry myself to sleep. Now, I'm a crier. I'm a very sentimental person, I guess it would be. Commercials and things like that can do me in. And put the right combination of music and right slow motion speed, I'm pretty much done for. But in my real life, though, historically speaking, when there are tears that flow that I can't control, I know that something major is shifting in and around me. And that has been the case ever since I can recall. There are times where when those tears come and I can't stop them, meaning I could be standing on a street corner or at the grocery store line. If those tears come, I could be at work. When those tears fall, I better get ready to make a move. It's coming. And you can decide what your signals and meanings are. For me, those tears are a gift because it's a sign for me to make a move. It's a sign for me to pay attention now. And I'm grateful to be aware that that's one of the signs that I can pay attention to. It's a gift, even though that maybe what's to come is something that may be a little uncomfortable or maybe a little painful. But it is time to make a move now. Don't worry about how it's going to get done, but you're doing it. And I would cry myself to sleep sometimes, and I couldn't stop it because it felt like there was cleansing going on, like so many layers of things. It felt like the tears were getting those things out. That's what it felt like. It felt like there was space inside for those things to come out because there was nothing else in there to distract from the process. It's similar to the external world where we have all these flashes and things going on that distract us from paying attention to what is going on inside. Except for my internal world, this internal universe had some other toxic chemical things going on that was distracting and clouding the cleansing process spiritually. That's what it felt like. It felt like I was rinsing things off, and the tears were the release. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for tears all the time. Some people will look at you and say, oh my goodness, what's wrong with you? You cry all the time. And if you're someone who cries, don't worry about it. Let them flow. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're, that you are an unhappy person. It doesn't mean that you are depressed necessarily. It doesn't mean that, your life is terrible. It just means that those tears need to come. They're happening for a reason. Everything I realize happens for a reason, even if you don't know what the reason is at that moment. Even if you never know what that reason is. Everything happens for a reason. At the hospital, in the emergency room, I received 3 bags of fluids and 2 stitches in my lip. So I have this little memory here of my ER visit post 21-day water fast. I had a bump on my forehead. It's still tender. It was a bump here, a lump here, and it went down while we were at the ER, thankfully, because I intended to go to work on Monday, which I did, and I'm enjoying it. And so I had the bump on the head, the 2 stitches. At the time, my face was still very inflamed with bumps and all those kinds of things. The cosmetic bumps, we'll call them, the cleansing bumps. And my knees were banged up. I guess when I fell down on the floor, maybe I landed on my knees somehow. Something happened with my hip. I don't know, but it's sore. And outside of that, we got the forehead, the cheek. So I hit the cheek somewhere. I don't know where. The lip, the hip, the 2 knees, and that's it. As far as I know, everything is fine. I experienced the following week, I woke up one day and everything was swollen. And so I went online and saw that was refeeding edema. And so there are different reasons why someone can experience retaining water. So someone who has intentionally gone without food or is experiencing other extreme changes in body weight. and then begins eating again, you may experience refeeding edema. And it's the body's way of trying to protect itself. It's saying, hey, we're trying to get things back to the right levels or whatever. We're going to go ahead and get some water, save it for you. But that manifested in a swollen face and swollen limbs. So everything was jiggly. It was like a water bed. A very, very narrow water bed. I could just jiggle everything. And so that took a few days to go down. I still feel like I'm swollen in the face a little bit. Still feel a little jiggly in my thighs and my arms, but I don't care. I'm glad to be sitting here right now. So I don't care. This experience of detaching myself from something that I previously thought that I couldn't live without has taught me so much. I would not change a single thing about this 21-day water fast, my first experience, not a single thing. I wouldn't add any minerals. I wouldn't add any electrolytes. I would not change a single thing. And that is my feeling. Now, my number 2 water fast, would I make some adjustments? Likely, because I have the first experience to build off of. But this first one, I wouldn't change a single second, because even the fainting for me is a part of this testimony. In the moments, for whatever the duration was, that I was on the bathroom floor, in those moments, I don't know where I was, but wherever I was, I knew that I was okay. It felt like I was sleeping when I woke up anyway. It felt like I'd been sleeping. When I'm sleeping, I don't know where I am. Before I arrived in my mother's womb, I don't know where I was. When the moment arrives that whatever is in me is separating from the physical form you see in front of you, I don't know where I'm going. Yet, with the loss of consciousness, suddenly when I woke up, I was not afraid to die anymore. And I mean that it became apparent to me that wherever I am and whatever it is I am doing, that I have always been and will always be okay. And that is what I got from this. That there is not a need to worry. And I don't know a more important thing to know. Even when what you cannot see of me separates from what you can see of me, for the people that know me in this form, depending on how they perceive the separation of the two, they may experience sadness. But for me, I am certain that I am okay. I am always okay. Whether there are tears to be shed, sometimes when I feel down for a moment, I am always okay. There is a lightness, a weightlessness, a freedom associated with not worrying. The feeling is that when you don't worry, because you know that all is well and working for your good and the good of every single person that you know, you are making space for those things to become reality. All of your dreams, all of your desires, all of your prayers, you're making space for those things to be. You're making yourself available to notice the experiences, the people, the things when they appear. When we are in, for lack of a better phrase, in a sunken place with our thoughts and with our feelings, and when we stay in that sunken place, it can be a challenge to recognize all of the beauty and blessings around you. Every day, that your eyes are open is yet another opportunity to realize all of your blessings. Every single one. And there are many. Every single experience and every single person that you encounter is a blessing. If you are open to receiving and you are open to giving and you are open to loving, you will be able to recognize the Most High in every single situation. I dare you to try. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. And that is liberating. And that I also did not know. I've read those words before. I've heard people tell me don't worry, but they themselves are worried. They may try not to act like they're worried, but the words that come out of their mouth say and express that they're worried. Okay, here we go. Yeah, baby. Mm-hmm. Mm. This is delicious. I feel like when I finish the whole apple, or at least another apple.